Number 1.
Lifelong dream, lifelong goal to create one of the world's most powerful vehicles. So it wasn't anything to do with battling anyone. I just wanted to create something special, long-term thing. Sit in class, draw pictures of cars, get in trouble, and it was always horsepower, something freaky. But I always knew that I wanted to do my own thing. It couldn't be anything that's been done before. The design had to be unique, it had to be cutting edge, it had to be edgy. Everything about it, when you saw it, it had to be like, wow, look at this. The dream, what would you like to see in a car as far as the shape, the sound, the look? Most of us, we get the experience of a vehicle inside of the car. What brings you to the car is the outside of the car. So that brought the two together, the artistic part of it and the engineering part of it.
Number 2.
Weeks of phone calls, emails, begging and sorting logistics, and then we arrive at the brilliant Blyton Park circuit to rain. Tons and tons of rain. This is made somewhat worse because many of the cars on this test have no windscreens or doors. But we're British and made of stern stuff, or so I've heard. Besides, we're here for nearly a week, and in that time we'll experience every season of the year at least 2 or 3 times. The sun even shines at least once. Unpredictable weather aside, we're in for a hell of a time. We've got mad lightweights, wildly powerful heavyweights, dedicated track and race cars mingling with hardcore road cars. In other words, the making of an amazing few days. This is our track car of the year. We love this test. So to the Glickenhaus SCG 003. We didn't think it would show up, but it did for a single day, and typically it poured with rain pretty much non-stop, save for a very short spell just as the light died. We drove it in the wet and then finally on slicks, despite the temperature and the damp surface. You know the score with this car, devised and funded by Jim Glickenhaus. It's a GT3 style machine, but with aerodynamics more akin to an LMP prototype. It races in the VLN series held on the Nürburgring. And here it is at Blyton Park.
I can barely believe I'm driving this thing. Must be the coolest car in the world at the moment. And Jim Glickenhaus is just a legend in my opinion. He's built this car from scratch, races it at the Nürburgring. And we know there's a road car coming. Today we've got the race car. It's built to sort of GT3 Rex. But obviously we can't call it a GT3 car because they just can't build enough. The conditions are, I would say, treacherous. We're on slick tyres. The track's not dry, so I've got to be super careful. But I want to try and get a feel for this. I drove it in the dry already. It's damp here. Wow. So how can I describe this? Well, we've driven some GT3 cars around here, haven't we already? The McLaren 650S GT3 and the Can-Am. And it's got that amazing usability, this car as well. Doesn't like the bumps there. It's a super cool thing. Oh, gotta try and keep temperature in the tyres while I'm talking, not easy.
Number 3.
Many cutting-edge technologies are inspired by nature. Think about cheetah, the fastest mammal on Earth. It relies on more than just speed to catch its prey. In order to successfully hunt, cheetahs need to be able to turn and change directions quickly. They need to adjust its trajectory as fast as possible. Agility is their top priority. We learn from it. We reflected its movements in the Concept 1's torque vectoring system. Torque vectoring is a system that provides optimal dynamic performance for a vehicle at any given situation. A conventional drivetrain is limited by its slow reaction time and inability to control each wheel separately. By having a very powerful electric motor at each wheel, a whole new world of possibilities opens. We can precisely adjust the torque output of each motor more than 100 times per second, in both directions, acceleration and braking. This enables us to use the maximum potential of this almost organic system.
I started to work on the development of the torque vectoring system for the Concept 1 when I was still in college. It was my graduation thesis. Now I am the head of the vehicle dynamics team at Rimac Automobili, and I'm also working on my PhD on torque vectoring.
This is truly pioneering stuff. We use several extremely precise sensors, accelerometers, gyroscopes, steering angle sensors, and wheel speed sensors to get a clear picture of what is happening with the car. Our algorithm then uses all this data to decide exactly how power should be distributed between the 4 motors.
This system helps the car find levels of grip that were not considered possible of before. Also, it's a big safety feature because we can control the car's stability. Not only on acceleration and in cornering, but also during braking with our 4 electric motors and their regenerative braking system. We use torque vectoring to get maximum traction, but also to change the personality of the car. By just turning the knob, the Concept 1 can be a car that understeers, have neutral steering, or have a tendency to oversteer. So in one car you can have multiple personalities and change the car by your driving preferences and your driving experience.
Number 4.
A beast grows inside us all, waiting to be unleashed. Raw power, predatory instincts, absolute freedom, being in complete control. Take advantage of that road that never saw you coming. It is time.
Number 5.
In the case with the performance car brand, it's the founder that just couldn't find what it is they were looking for elsewhere, so they decided to create their own car. That's Antoine Besset's story with his Felino brand and the CB7 car. Now, if you look at these cars and you take a glance at the spec sheets, they read like any good bona fide supercar. And the black car is the first generation car, and the white one to my left is the generation 2 car. Now, the spec sheet of the Felino CB7 reads like a who's who of exotic cars. It features a fully tubular chassis, carbon fiber body panels inside and outside. The key element here is the fact that these cars weigh barely 1,000 kilograms, and that will change depending on how you spec out the car. Now, the black car, the first generation car, features a 200 horsepower turbocharged 2-liter engine, 4 cylinders, and the white one, it's a little bit more interesting. It's a 525 horsepower LS3 V8. So although performance was exceptional in the first generation car, the black one, in this white car, it should be absolutely mind-blowing. Now, according to Antoine, these cars should be good to up to 700 horsepower. So if you take a second and consider the fact that these cars weigh next to nothing, their power-to-weight ratio makes fun of what the Bugatti Veyron, 1,000 plus horsepower car, can do. Now, I think 0 to 60 times in the mid 2 seconds. Anyhow, these cars will be extraordinary to drive. Now, there is no doubt that these cars will be very fast. However, according to Antoine, what really makes these cars stand out is how easy they are to drive on the limit. They feature perfect 50-50 weight distribution, and because of their low weight and the way the suspension is set up, the grip is apparently tremendous. From a styling standpoint, well, the comments are just as negative as they are positive. As far as I'm concerned, I really enjoy the second generation. The wider track makes all the difference in the world, and the larger spoiler in the front, the flared fenders with the carbon fiber differentiation with the matte white coloring is absolutely stunning. My only negative point as far as styling is concerned would be the rear, which we can't really see very well here, so I think maybe that has something to do with it. Looks like a frowning sad puppy. But again, these are just products that are in development. Are these cars street legal? At the moment, they are not. However, Felino does expect that in time they will become street legal and will be able to be purchased in Canada as well as many other markets in the world. And now the real question, how much will this Felino CB7 cost? Well, according to the company, just under $100,000 should be enough to get your hands on a basic car. From there, the sky's the limit, where you can add just about any powertrain and kit it up any which way you would like. This car should be an exceptional experience to drive.